This is Blessing Salami introducing Woman at the Well.
Welcome to the Woman at the Well, a place of hope and healing.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's Blessing. Well, I'm going to greet you according to your time, morning, afternoon. Hi. It's Blessing Salami, the lady behind Woman at the Well, the voice behind Woman at the Well. This afternoon, I'm alone and like it is, talk about my own stories and how God came through for me. Well, we have started a very interesting topic, but before then I would like to say thank you to all my viewers, all my subscribers, and God bless you all. Keep subscribing, keep following. It's been a journey and I'm glad you're following. Well, we introduced a topic last week and it is very mind-blowing how much response I've got regarding that, and I am still going to put my heels in to continue. And what is this topic we're talking about and I'm really passionate about? It is mental health. Our mental health. You can either be mentally ill or you're mentally healthy. And oh my God, Sus did a great job, breaking the ice. And if you haven't seen that video, please do follow us. Listen. It is all about real stories. It's about real people. There's nothing hidden under the sun. So I don't intend to hide anything because it is also my process of healing. Okay. Apart from me healing, I know is helping somebody out there to listen. So we're talking about the different areas that women go through in terms of situations of life, in terms of adversity and trauma and everything that does affect their mental health. Yes, their mental health. And this particular occasion of the mental health journey, we'll be talking about different topics. Like I said, we'll be talking about childhood experiences, our child abuse as linked to mental health. We'll be talking about divorce and separation as it links to mental health. We'll be talking about another one, childlessness, miscarriages. I do not believe anybody is barren. I'm a Christian and I refuse to believe, because my Bible tells me that none shall be barren in the land, not even animals. So I say childlessness. Yeah, so childlessness linked to mental health. And we'll be touching issues around life expectations and how it leads to mental health concerns. We'll be looking at issues around marriage expectations. Think about it. Have you ever gone into, thinking of how you will have a fairy tale marriage, or where you start with your wedding day and you just have those wonderful ideas of how you'll be taking cups of tea and going for holidays and what have you, and then boom, it hits you that, oh my God, it is not what I actually thought it was. It's not what I thought it is. The way I was brought up wasn't actually the upbringing received. Oh, you're a woman, you have to work this path and that path to please your husband, and all those these are the things you'll be looking at when it comes to marriage expectations and how it affects mental health. There'll be so many interesting topics, but this afternoon I will be starting like always. I'll be breaking the ice. I'll be initiating a conversation that, and when I have some guests in, they would touch on these topics. Okay. So I know I keep saying about my childhood, it is something that I cannot erase, because I know there are people out there who've been through a lot, and the more you think about it, the more you get hurt and you do not feel like moving on. Well, it is a good time to step up. Yes, it is. You can do it. If I did it, then you can. Yes. I'm talking about childhood abuse. child abuse and how it leads to mental health. I did start a discussion last week or so, the last episode, and I did discuss how I was deprived as a child, and not just deprived, I didn't have a go-to person. My go-to people were me, myself, and I, and because I lost trust in those who were supposed to protect me. However, I did have an aunt who would now and again mediate and come in and intervene. But I want to talk about it from the perspective of, do not give a child so much punishment, or do not expect too much from a child. Give the child, let the child grow, let the child develop like a child. Don't make a child too mature for their age. Basically, that's what I don't know if I'm making sense. But what happens is, and I just mentioned this in a private discussion, I grew up. I had to grow up faster, because I remember my dad giving me some bulletins and saying, by the time your mother was that age, she was already in my house as a wife, so you have to grow up. And I remember being scarred here because mom has left two of my younger siblings with dad and myself, and when she went her way to work, her business, and she put something, and she was like, please look after it and make sure the children have their food before I come back and watch with you. And as soon as she turned her back, it was like, my friend, get up from there, you can look after that food. By the time you're sitting down, what, we expect me to serve you or what? Go and check that food. And believe me, it was if you're Nigerian and you were, but I don't want to start talking, so that you will know my age. So we used to have what we call a butterfly stove. They had two burners. Please don't try to guess my age here now. Okay, so we had them, and then you place them on. So as at that time, I would have to stand on another stool to put on the to see whatever was cooking. And I remember climbing on a stool to check the food on the butterfly stove, and as I just opened it, the vapor on the pot just went straight to my breast and got scalded there. And instead of that empathy, sympathy of a father trying to protect, oh, what is up there, it was like, babe, get off there. But I can laugh about it now, because it's a healing process for me. But no, it wasn't funny. And the truth of the matter is, when my mom came home, it wasn't as if anything happened. They just had what they call GV, that is still scarred till this day. And that on its own is asking a 7-year-old to do a chore of a 10-year, 12-year-old, I remember also a situation where I'll have to put the children. Okay, sorry. I'm just I'm trying my best not to cry, because if you don't cry, you laugh. If you don't laugh, you cry. So like I said, I'm the first of 8 children, and all between myself and my immediate younger one is almost 4 years, and then 6 years the next one, and then I remember, but I had to. I got so grown up that when my mother went for her antenatal class, one of the babies, she gave birth. I think it was the year she gave birth to the boy finally. and there's 10 years plus between myself and the boy, and I was sleeping. I remember that night, it was such a rainy night. It was the 31st day of March. I don't want to mention the date, the year. So I remember it like it was yesterday. So we were all sleeping, myself and the four of us. Yeah, so, and I just got a kick on the butt. Get off from there, your mother has had a boy. And I turned, sleeping in the middle of the night. Get off from there, your mother's had a baby boy. And I turned and said, and what's the difference? Remember, I said I got rebellious. So I said, and what's the difference? What's so special? He went, get up, I said. Get started, and if you know my dad, once he says get up means get up. It's like you being in what you call an army camp. So get up means get up, start means start, and run means run, and by order just work. And as soon as he said that, I got up, and he said, go put the water. Like I said, it was a very rainy night, and put the water on. We're talking about, I want to say 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, I need to go back to sleep. But the following day, I think it was a Sunday, and we need to go to church, and we'll be tired. You, at 10-year-old, you don't have any say in the house of saying, oh, you're tired overnight and what have you. And it was like, boom, your mother is there, and then I'm saying your mother just gave birth to a son. How dare you sleep? A girl like you, of what use have you been to me? That, my God, broke me. I haven't been of any use. Okay. Mentally, I have not been of any use. And those words they kept reoccurring in my head. And there's another word as well, apart from smacking. And don't get me wrong, my father was not just a verbally abusive father. He was big man with the cane. And I want to remember 2 occasions where somebody came from school and lied and said, this is what I did. An older person. And my father, I've not even eaten. I just came literally back from school. This person brought me back from school and made this allegation. And he just couldn't even hear my side of the story. And what I got was straight into the bushes, got a stick off one of the trees, out of the branches, and off he went. And as you know, people were like, oh, please don't. Please don't. Even a neighbor was like, please, at least let the girl, I was still in my school uniforms when he gave me some lashes and another lashes, and people were like, for God's sake, you can't even use. Now, I'm not superstitious, but apparently the stick he used on that day to hit me, you couldn't use it for human beings at all. And as he gave the second and the third, it went straight into my eye, and that was it. That's how I got blind. And I mean blind, the one eye closed. And it was then he realized, he threw it away, and people came, and there was blood from that eye. The eye was like, please open your eye, please open your eye. And off they went straight into the hospital. And whilst we were going, I remember him whispering, you mustn't tell anyone what happened. Just say it was a fight at school. That has affected my sight till this day. The eye is open, but till this day I can't use that eye properly. This one. And there are witnesses. If you still do need to talk about it, yes. That's how my left eye got injured, and gone to the opticians and just tell them it was a fight at school. please don't tell them it was me. I bet you if it was in this country, definitely he would go to jail, or I would have been taken away from him. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we should have a balance. Yes, child abuse is real and it does affect. And after that smack and after that incident, I remember my mom she's always been a physical, always present, but emotionally was no attachment. And I remember for the first time, my mother screaming and shouting. In fact, she had to get one of his brothers in and say, if anything should happen to my daughter, I don't think I'll take this lightly. And I also remember my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, was still alive. Oh, may her soul find rest. It was war. And they said to him, giving him an ultimatum, should anything happen, should I go, deformed as a result of this and that. And at that point, was like, oh, for God's sake, please, I would never touch you again, never again. I was 6, 7 years old then. I'm just going back and forth, just talking about different experiences. Please don't try to use a timeline or a chronicle in judging what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is child abuse is real, and it can actually affect a child. It can affect a child, and the child will grow up to be a damaged woman. Yes, it can. It's really, really real. It's real as a book. It's as real as a white. Yes, it is. So, yeah, that's how I got partial blindness, and I have to do with glasses for a while as a child until that injury left. Yeah, but it stayed in my head how a father, and people were like, but we warned you, we told you, with this, that, with that, and it didn't stop there. Another abuse I really went through, verbally all the time, was going to ask my dad for stuff as a child, and he say, I can't give you because you don't deserve it. It's either I don't deserve it or you're of no value to me. So I grew up thinking that I was of no value to anybody. In fact, I was nothing. I was worthless. Yes, that's how I grew. I grew up to think that if I need anything, it's either I go out there to work for it. You don't give value. Yes, you don't give. These are his words. Let this just come in. You don't give gold to those who have no value. Yes, it just came now. You do not give gold to those who. So anything he gave me was gold, and I didn't deserve it. So in my head, as a child growing up, till a teenager, till a woman I became, I don't deserve anything good from anybody. Yes. And something happened down the line. Why I said it continued, I'm just trying to remember things as I talk, because I want it to be as real as possible. I remember this very day, my beloved brother, the baby of the house, I think I've got a picture of him at some point. I'll show you. We were so close. You would actually think I actually gave birth to him. There's 17, 18, 19 years, I can't even remember, between us. So he was literally my baby. He was the first baby to actually have some bond. We're so till this day we're so close, and regardless of family issues, sibling rivalry, the bond is just so strong. Is the baby of the home, and there was an issue. I was going to bath him, and as a toddler he was a very energetic toddler. So this particular day, it was in the evening, and I was just going to give him a bath. And as I got the water poured into the bucket, trying to get his soap, he poured not knowing that I've not mixed the water itself. It wasn't warm. It just dip his hand in, and he got burnt by it. Carelessness. Oh Jesus. I was beaten like I stole something, like I have killed somebody. I was beaten by my mother. And it didn't end there. After the first aid and everything, it was a common mistake. There's no people who were talking. It didn't end there. So this boy got burned, and my mother didn't take it lightly. But she didn't take it lightly from a perspective of, oh, you were careless and what have you. And I got the beating of my life for that, and it didn't end there. And then, have you ever had an African mother say to you, just wait until your father returns? So it was a case of, I've done my part, but you wait till your dad returns. Okay, so dad comes back. Oh, Edu, what happened to you? I burned my hand. How? And then the story was told. Then another part 2 started. And after the part 2, my friend, get out of my sight. You want to kill the boy that God gave me. Of what value are you that you want to kill the boy that God gave me? And it made me think, okay, maybe it's because it's a boy, but no. Remember, I've had other traumatic experiences, and I cried all night. So in essence, what am I trying to say? There's always a link. You can ask this, you can research this. There's always a link. If you go to Mind, wherever you are, there's Mind Cardiff, there's Mind Newport, there's Mental Health Foundation. You can find help anywhere. You can call me and then we can have a chat about it. There are other organizations that can help. There is always a link between, and the psychologists will tell you this, there's always a link between your childhood experiences, especially when it comes to advanced childhood experiences and trauma. There's always a link between child abuse and one's mental health. So why am I trying to bring this to fore? I'm bringing this so that us as women can be equipped, empowered to know that, okay, I must have gone through this and I must have gone through that, but I can actually help my girl child, and not just, please don't limit it to your girl, the girl children, but I'm here. I'll always say this. I think I went through all these experiences so that today I can talk about them. Yeah, the girl child should be equipped in such a way that wherever they go, they have that knowledge that, okay, I can run to mama, I can run to dad, but I can run especially to mama to discuss, or to go to mom to discuss, or to pour my heart out. So I didn't have that. No, I didn't, because I was so scared of, okay, if I told mom, it will end up, dad would end up knowing about it, and I'll be penalized for it. So my secrets were my secrets. And if they were just too secretive for me to keep, I would go to an aunt, or I would go to a total stranger, just so I can air my view. So that girl child who you think, oh my God, she's so engrossed with internet, or she speaks too much to her friend, or she's so isolated, or she's hiding herself too much inside, check your behavior. Check your relationship with and if you can't, for one reason or the other, come break that barrier or burn the bridge between you and your daughter, I will suggest that you meet professionals, look for mentors. Now, we don't all have the same strength. No two people are. Parenting is very different, it's unique in its own way. But have you tried mentoring? There are things that the girl child might not want to discuss with mom, but will have dad to discuss with. It does happen. My daughter can be like that sometimes, and they sit down in front of me and they just gossip and they talk about things. And when I, what's that? Nothing, mom. No, don't worry about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then we've talked about it, and she doesn't want to go deep into it. And then her dad will help out. And I think it was last year or so, I reached out to my younger sister who deals with mentoring teenagers. That is her ministry. She's really grounded in it. I called her and said, listen, she's your goddaughter as well as your niece. So now and again, always reach out to her, because no two people, no one person can bring up. It takes a village, actually. Is an African saying. It takes a village to raise up a child. So no one person has the monopoly to raise that child up, especially the girl child, because of what you think you know, somebody else might know better, or another approach to actually bring up your child for you. Don't think, oh, I know it all, because look at it this way. I was raised up in a damaged way without any form of knowledge. The only knowledge I had is you get up, because by the time you were by this age, your mom was already in my house as a wife. So all I was looking for was to get out, exit, go. So there was nothing much. If I had a child that when I got married initially, and God has a way of doing these things, I think I will raise up a damaged little one, because there was nothing. All I had was anxiety, anger in me, depression, not knowing my next way, nothing at all. And we put up this face that all is well, all is not well. Look for mentors for that child. Sit down with that child, reflect, talk, come down to the child's level. Sometimes my daughter will murmur, and I will just, make a comment. Oh, I didn't know you started speaking in tongues. Just to come down to that level where she can laugh, and then it's just a way of deflating or de-escalating the issue and de-escalating tension for her. And then she's like, oh, do you know what, Mom? You just upset me. I'll tell you, something happened yesterday. She has come to that stage now where I don't know if all teenagers do it, but each parent I've spoken with say, oh yes, they do. She just gets up in the morning, everything is in one place. She does her laundry, same place. And you ask yourself, Mom, I know where my things are. But yesterday she wore 2 different socks. I was like, how are you going to school with 2 different socks? Where are your stuff? Oh, there's somewhere, Mom, I can't be bothered. Yes, you can. How can you go to school? You have socks, you have a lot of, why would you wear different socks? So that, for the start of the day, I scolded her. But she didn't like it, and apparently she told her dad about it, and I didn't know about the whole situation. She went to school. It was when she came back, and we started baking last night, and I said, oh, blah, 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 how was school today? We're talking about school. And she went on doing her thing. She went, well, everything was fine in school, but I'm still not happy with you, ruining my day at the beginning of the morning. I went, ruining your day? How did I do that? She went, Mom, you spoke to me in such a manner like I'm so irresponsible. That's not fair. I went, oh. She went on to say, And I even went to school in the morning crying before my first lesson. I went, oh God, I'm so sorry, babe. It was just in the kitchen. We had that conversation. I went, I'm so sorry, babe. I didn't mean it that way. And for any reason, please, if I ever do that in the morning to you, come to me first and let's talk about it. Don't go to school crying, because I know the effect of that, of such. Please don't. And she was like, to her dad, and they started laughing about it. But what am I trying to say? I did apologize. I didn't know the impact that had on her first thing in the morning. So always try to check up on your child as often as possible. It's not about giving instructions. It's about coming to their level to know exactly what is wrong. Come down to the level to advise rather than instruct. It's good to give instructions, but then try to create a balance. That was an eye-opener for me, because I know the impact of going to school, grumbling, crying, I feel so deflated. Even going to class on some days was like, I'll just go to school and roam around. When it's time, I would walk back to the house, because after all, they've ruined my day. So I know the impact it will have on her yesterday. And good thing we always have that discussion at every evening, where we can just come out and say, and when she said that, it's still not going to make me happy with you, but thank God it all ended. So what am I trying to say? If I didn't have that discussion with her, she will go back in the night, will sleep. In the morning, morning, mom, love you, bye. Sometimes she might not even, yes, because there's no relationship, but there's no one day my daughter will step out of the house without saying, bye, mom, love you, we'll have a chat, so mental health, child abuse, hashtag, what are we tagging? Do not leave the girl child alone. If you leave them alone, somebody else would hold them, and they will hold them in a negative way that you would not expect. They will groom them. There are whales out there. There are lions out there. There are snakes out there. When she turned, I don't know. This is another funny one. If you go to my window, you will see, oh, beware, a teenager lives here. These are funny things I've got. Just to let her know that she's protected. Yes. To let her know how protected she can be, how trustworthy you can be to her as a man. I'm not leaving the fathers out, because we have a big role to play. Yes, we do. Let us stop the child abuse, because you abuse a child today, they end up an abused and a damaged woman. I pray that the Lord will help us, that the Lord will give us understanding based on my experiences. If I can heal, you can. If I can move on, you can. The more you look back, the worse you get. And it's not taking you anywhere. Remember Lot's wife whilst you're looking back. If you're a Christian, remember Lot's wife. The Bible says concerning Lot's wife, she looked back and she turned to a pillar of salt. The more you look back, you just turn into something. You turn into a statue. You turn into something that you're not. But when you leave everything behind and you press forward and you move on, then God helps you, because He will pull you into the light that you need. And like I said, no one person has it all. We're here for you. We are here for you, to help you. If you need to cry, please cry. There were nights when it felt like I am alone. I was alone as a child. There were nights when I felt that. There were nights when I felt like I just need to kill myself because I was valueless. I felt so depressed as a child. I felt so anxious. If you opened my door to this day, the first question I ask is, what is it? Because I will come up defensive. Always defensive, because I want to know, are you coming now to abuse? Are you coming to what's actually the plan? So I'm always at alert. So yeah, we can hear together. Talk about it. And the thing about mental illness is you might not even know when it starts. You don't know how it starts. You can say, okay, you have like a physical health concern. You can feel the pain, can't you? And you say, okay, it started 2 days ago, it started 3 days ago. But the thing about mental illness, you don't actually know when it starts. So it's better for you to actually have a diary and start talking about experiences that have made you possibly jumpy, possibly frustrated, possibly angry. I don't know what it is. Mine is a combination of everything, and lack of concentration, lack of trust for people, my inability to actually have any social life. My social life would just be me drinking, taking a cup of tea, dancing on my own, inability to make friends, because I'd rather have one person to confide in than a whole lot of people, because I don't know what the other person was planning against me. And I was so scared, because if I find myself in the midst of 3-4 people, I'll believe that they were talking about me. And if they talk about me, there'll be nobody to defend me. So that fear alone, if they said something against me, the only person that would defend me would be myself, and obviously God. And it made me a very angry person, and I will always fight. You will always see me in the midst of fighting with other people. At some point I thought, you know what, because I can't defend myself all the time, I can't fight all the time and look like a tout from somewhere. I'd rather just stick with 1 or 2 people who I can actually trust. So it's a question of, who are your friends? Who can you trust? Who can you bring your children to? Remember, I think it was my very first guest. She said she made up her mind not to leave her children with any stranger. There are ways we can navigate these things. I know we live in a busy society. Even if you live in Africa, there are things, or sometimes you just want to go to work and get to let earns meet. But there's more to life than money. There's more to a busy life. A busy life is your home. Is your home. Try to create the balance. Be physically available for that child, and be emotionally available. That's one thing I think I lacked. I lacked on one side, both physical and emotional attachment. And on my maternal side, even though my mom was there, I had no emotional attachment at all, and there was no balance. So I lived like, okay, that's me. Nigerians will say, I don't come, now maybe this. So yeah, that's just me. Whatever happens, God, I know. And how long ago did I know God? How long ago did I depend on Him? So it was just Him carrying me through. I still believe it was His hand carrying me through. And He will carry you through in the midst of it. Well, if you've been through child abuse, you still have hope. Yes, you do. Leave it at His feet. Leave it at His feet. I know the effect. I know the impact. I know it's eating you up. I know that when you talk about it, it makes you feel hard. It makes you feel like you can't forgive. Yes, you can forgive. You can move on. Please talk about it and move on. You might not see those little steps you're making. But you're progressing. Let's progress. It doesn't matter how tight the traffic is, you will still get to your destination as long as you remain there and remain focused. I believe this has helped somebody today. I'll see you in my next video. As a woman, please look after the girl child. Let's stop child abuse today. There are other ways to bring up children without smacking and cursing. So, do not dwell in the past. Do not dwell in your past. It doesn't define you. It doesn't. You can come out of it. And I pray that God helps you to come out of it in Jesus' name. Amen.
The Woman at the Well, sharing your story and glory with Blessing Salami.